Well, hello there guys, and welcome to the channel. Right, so today we have KT Time episode 5. So, this is members exclusive early access stream. That means that only members have been sent out a link to the stream and YouTube Patreons. And this is a podcast type of format where basically me and Mandalorian are discussing the happenings and ongoings in Untitled Champions for the past week and upcoming news. So today we do have a lot to talk about, so we will not waste any more time. Let's say hello to Mandalorian and jump straight in it.
Oh, and good day to you as well. Of a big thank you to all Patreons and YouTube members.
Exactly. So we unfortunately, weren't quite up to recording this yesterday. Typically we do it on Sundays. This time it happened to be a Monday because neither me and Mandalorian were, let's just say that we were under the weather. That being said, let's just jump to the first point of conversation here right now. And that would be the 6-star arena. Right, I believe you have some fair few words to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that's been said. For those that may not know exactly what I'm talking about, there's a special holiday celebration that started on December 10th for everybody in Marvel Contest Champion, celebrating the 6th anniversary of the game. And obviously, I believe it was summoners that were uncollected and above, and I think at least level 40, they were able to participate in one of 3 or 4 arenas, and the highest one being the opportunity to get 5,000 6-star shards with using your 1 or 2-star champions, and the points kind of went from, I believe it was 100,000 and 200,000, and then it kind of went up to 300, and then it kind of scaling up until like the last few levels you had to do 600,000 just to get to the top levels.
It went up to 4 million points.
Yeah, up to 4 million points. Typically, when they do these arenas, especially when it's something like 4 million points, you expect 2 stars and 1 stars to get much higher points than they would typically get in a normal arena. And I'm not talking about, like, they've done holiday arenas before that's similar to the 5-star one they're doing. Max is 1 million. But I'm talking like one round will get you 175,000 points, wherein this boosted, quote unquote, round gets you about 15,000 points once you've hit the 3 times multiple. So a lot of questions were brought up in the forum, and it was confirmed pretty early on, within the first hour or so, that the points were scaling correctly. They had no, Kabam that is, had no, what's the best word? No intention to increase the points, and basically told people in not so friendly and kind of a condescending and rude way that if you don't have the time, grind for what you can, and this should not be something you just look at one time and then just leave. This is something that the rewards are well higher than what we would normally give you, and you need to work for it. And this came like literally the same time they gave Thronebreakers 10,000 6-star shards for free just for playing the game, and Cavalier 5,000 6-star shards for playing the game. So it was kind of like looked at as a, like, seriously, are you really going to say that to us after that? Especially knowing that if you go for a basic, so many trash pools. It's 141 champs right now in there, and probably only 30 really worth it right now.
Well, for me, personally with this arena, well, first and foremost, I'm not doing it, and not because it's actually because I couldn't. I just had obviously a very busy schedule. I chose to prioritize doing Act 7 over jumping in this arena because I thought that would be better.
Right.
That's the content I wanted to do to begin with. And in addition to all of that, that's also what I found more interesting. On a quiet dead month, I probably would have tried to do this arena, but right now is all being back to work with Variant 3 coming right out and everything else happening in the game. For me personally, I just didn't have the time because there is about 11 hours of grind time. I think about 230 matches to do, right? And to do 230 matches it's a lot. Like an average for my roster to do any milestones takes about 40 for all arenas except the featured 5-star one. Featured 5-star one to get to 12 million. I typically do around 60 matches using my 6 stars. So that would mean like getting all the milestones in all the other arenas, and I only can do that when I generally do have time for it. I know this is over 7 days, but still, to put 220 up, like if I would have the time to put up 200 plus matches at this given period, for me and my account, it would make a lot more sense to just go and grind featured 5-star arena. At least then I guaranteed would get a new champion, which would be Spider Piggy, which is something that I did plan to grind for originally. And had I had the time to grind, I would have grinded for the pig instead of these shards, which is completely like RNG related. Only thing this arena has above any other arena, aside from the 6-star shards, are the collector crystals, which are nice, but still, I'd rather take a guaranteed 5-star value. So, versus, I don't think this is the worst arena in the world, and I definitely see why people do it, especially if you do have the time. 5,000 6-star shards is a fair chunk. That's the amount you get in a variant difficulty. At the same time, it's not a celebration level kind of arena.
No.
It's just additional opportunity to grind your life away. But I look at it, and it's not the world's worst arena that I've ever seen, I guess you could say. But at the same time, definitely does not feel like a celebration to me.
Right, and that's kind of where a lot of critique, I would say, and I would say not even like hatefully charged or negative critique, just critique that was posted on forums, and it was promptly discarded, deleting multiple threads, including a thread I made of my own, which was very, very politically correct, had no, bad talking or anything about it. Just saying, please treat us like adults. If they had made this arena maybe 2 weeks, or maybe even like till the rest of December, I don't think they would have gotten as much heat from it, even with the lower
then
points.
I probably would have chipped away at it now and then.
Yeah. And then I did grind it, but I decided to do it only late on Friday night, because I couldn't sleep. I was having some issues when I started getting sick, and I grinded for about 3 hours and hit barely 1 million when I went to bed. So I figured out that I did it between Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday during the day, and then I woke up early this morning and finished it. And I did 230 rounds, and I did right at 11 hours total. And that's a lot of time to ask somebody to dedicate. And I was going through pretty quick, and I have all my 2 stars maxed out, and I probably have 100 2 stars easily. So it's ridiculous. It has nothing to do with the time to refresh or anything like that. It's just ridiculous.
I just don't think it kind of like hits that celebration note. At the same time, this arena got released. There's some 10,000 6-star shots out of Thronebreakers, and I'm like, cool, like, and now I'm meant to grind for 10 plus hours for another 5. Again, I understand why people would do it, and had the game been like quiet, and had I had time, and like if I wouldn't be working, but I am working right now, and I was just like, no, sorry, don't have time. I could have probably squeezed in like a couple of milestones, but still, just doesn't seem.
It's just. It just doesn't seem like, it doesn't seem like it's the happy thing to do.
Yeah,
it
the side event this month felt a lot more like celebration when we got to pop those cows and stuff over this stuff.
I was gonna say, I know I for sure finished it within 2 days, which is insane for a side event. But I was thankful for that because of all the new content coming out. And Mulaney's challenge I finally finished last week. I mean, so there's a lot of content. You could do it all at your own pace. This was one that I think they should have just looked at and given us more time as a whole, knowing all the content out there.
I think,
and maybe start at the same time.
Have given us much more time, to like end of December. Or I think they should have given us a point multiplier. But which made it a bit more stinky was definitely a lot more the way Kabam moderators went about it. And well, that's again just showcases exactly the reason why I stay away from Kabam forums 99% of the time. Aside from maybe look up the news announcements and stuff like that. I never bother opening a thread. I think in 5 years I have maybe opened like 5 threads. And it's just, if it's not elevated stupidity or his groupies that kind of like messes with the thread, it's just Kabam consistently shutting down anything that they don't agree with, even if there's technically nothing wrong with the thread. They'll find some reason about something to merge the threads and then close them down or bury them or whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of it just speaks to the disrespect they give everybody. They're very personal about it. When I mean personal, I mean they handle it as they're taking a personal grudge against all people. All of us players are ungrateful. All of us, no matter if we agree with them or not. But we're all ungrateful in their eyes.
But then let's get the. Yeah, it was annoying. It definitely wasn't great. It's like Kabam is a company that manages to give people 10,000 6-star shards and still piss them off at the same time with extra additional 5k somehow. They just seem there's always that instead of a cherry on top of the cake, they just typically manage to put a little turd on top of it.
Yeah, a little hanky turd right there on it.
Most beautiful cake ever in the world, but garnished with a little bit of diarrhea.
Yeah.
That is
that's
effectively that. And now we can move on to something a bit more positive, because it's not like always Kabam does everything wrong, and there are plenty of things that I do like what they do, especially recently. I think overall, even though they definitely have a lot of their problems and the game stability issues and people not getting the gifts, and that to me was a true celebration of Kabam, because that's effectively the way they are as a company. They do a bunch of amazing things. And then there is a bunch of things that scream complete amateur hour. We had like 5-6 downtimes in the course of 2 days. We had bugs where people got kicked out of Abyss and their quest and John Mulaney challenges, and then we had people not receive their gifts. And my inbox is still spammed full with that 6th anniversary title. I have gotten like 10 or 11 of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got 17 of them.
Yeah, maybe me too. I haven't counted recently. And that is so Kabam. They're doing something awesome, which a lot of people get hyped for. And a lot of that stuff does come, and then a lot of that stuff just goes so much off the rail. I really did want to upload like a proper rant video, but I didn't do it the first evening. And then by the next morning I had kind of calmed down, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to try and keep this thing to minimum and discuss it here and not kind of like...
Yeah.
Bring it back up. But anyways, Act 7 though, on the other hand, I think has been quite big win overall. What do you think?
I have seen nothing but great praises about it. It's more fun than the prior act, which was Act 6. It gives more variation for you to play your roster. It gives you 3 different bosses per like sub-chapter, you know. It's just It looks like they did a lot of things that would have been bad with the original beta test of it, and they corrected it to a T and made it just more enjoyable and better rewards. Like those two things together, it felt like more fun. Not just how high can we get the PI and how much of a challenge can we make it for everybody. It was more about just embracing your roster is what I kind of liked about that. You know, seeing what you've already have ranked up, seeing how you could use those rank ups. And maybe champions you don't play all the time to overcome some of those nodes and lanes and bosses and things like that.
Well, here are like a few things. First of all, there has been actually some criticism, or at least actually a fair amount of criticism, and there have been people complaining that it's too easy. That the game will die, it becomes too easy, and it's a fail because you can blitz through it. I explored it already basically in my kind of like first go at pretty much every path without using a single revive, without using a single potion, without using a single boost. So it's definitely down a notch in level of difficulty compared to Act 6, especially later chapters. At the same time, for me personally, and I do like challenging content a lot. I have explored absolutely everything that this game has thrown at me, including Abyss, including any type of challenge content, and I like and I enjoy those type of challenge content. But number one, I don't quite agree that story progression has to be the challenging content. I think challenge modes and stuff like that should be separate from general progression. That's number one. And number two is there seem to be completely tonal shift, because there's a difference between challenging and hard content. Let's say John Mulaney's challenge, it's not the hardest thing in the world, but it's relatively hard, where most people will use some items. And then there is content like Act 6, where it almost seems menacing, where it almost seems like Kabam is like after you, they're trying to get you, they're trying to kind of like trap you, and like, you know what I mean? There are some of those fights that just seem very, very nasty, very, very mean for like no reason. Again, I can refer to Do You Bleed Rogue. Fight's not hard, just super, super annoying and evil because you do no damage on Rogue.
It's just, yeah, it's one of those things where I think, and maybe it is, if you look at it, it is really story-based if you think about it. I mean, because at this point in time in this story, the role-playing story, I mean, Grandmaster was pissed off at you, you're going up against him, and he's mad, and he's throwing everything he can at you. So you could argue that it was hard for that reason to give him an out as to why it was so terrible. But then, now, I mean, I'm trying to play devil's advocate here. I'm trying to give Kabam credit for Act 6 at some point in time. Now, they did down to which was kind of nice. But I mean, even so, if you're going in blind, Act 6, you're going to use some item. Sorry, you are.
Even right now, Act 6 is, after nerfs, significantly harder, in my opinion, than 7.1.
Yeah, some of it is. Some of it still is, especially when they changed, like, the Cap Infinity War boss, and it's actually less... There's less you can do in that fight than you could before. But yeah, Act 7 overall... The criticism, I think, is from people who just want hard content all the time. And I'm sorry, there's going to be content made for you, but you're not the... You're an in-game player, but you're the more extreme in-game player. I'm going to just say that out loud. You're not the entirety, because I like to feel like I'm beginning on the path of in-game player, but I'm not one that has to be challenged all the time. I want to just have the ability to have some... not per se easy fights, but just not feel like I'm just losing for the sake of losing because of I don't have a certain champion or I don't have a certain champion rank.
Well, I think that's one thing that Act 7 currently does a lot better than Act 6 did. In Act 6 there was a plethora of fights where you quite famously only had a handful of decent counters, starting from Mr. Sinister, going to champion boss, but at the time it got released, eventually we got many more counters. And then I think most famously, definitely the Acid Wash Mysterio, which if you wanted to play the fight according to the rules, which is inflict armor break and then inflict poison on Mysterio, and then you're able to deal normal damage, only had 2 counters. And what makes it worse, Man-Thing was like brand new champion to the game. And there's none of that. There's none of that in Act 7, which is the thing that I love most. Whenever you see a very, very niche kind of like specific node, you have a complementary node that helps you bring in more champions in there. Like the best example I guess I can give is Can't Stop One Stop node, which again is quite niche, quite specific, where you need to have Unstoppable. But then you have 2 different nodes that let you go Unstoppable. One was specifically for Mystic Champions, whenever you knock down the opponent. If you're not Unstoppable already, you gain an Unstoppable buff. And if you are Unstoppable, you gain Fury buff, so you gain more damage. And the other one was the one where either one of the champions go Unstoppable on timer. If you're close to the opponent, then opponent goes Unstoppable. If you're far away from the opponent, then you go Unstoppable.
I like that one a lot because you can plan it. You can see when that timer is going down and just plan it to like do a heavy or a special that knocks them back so you get that Unstoppable.
Yeah, exactly. But the huge difference here from the Act 6 was in Act 6 you would have Can't Stop One Stop node, then they would probably throw in like EMP modification or Caustic Temper or something else where it basically would whiffle you down to like a single or maybe double champions or a champion plus a synergy team or something like that. And here they took a node that restricts many different champions, and they added 2 different nodes and at the end point you could technically bring in any single champion, and that any champion could go Unstoppable. And it's such a huge tonal difference in the content where you feel like Kabam is kind of helping you.
This feels like, it just feels like whatever your roster is, it's almost like you should be able to do this content as long as you have the right number
strength level,
up.
Right kind of like tool set. Like obviously there are some lanes where you pretty much need a Mystic champion, so you're gonna need one of the better Mystic Champions ranked up. There are some lanes where you need bleed immunes and so on and so forth, but overall, if you follow the rules, there's quite broad list of champions that you can use. Obviously, there are some that are better than others, as there will always be.
Yes. Right. But it's just the fact that you can do it now. I mean, because I remember whenever I did 6.2 and I did the champion fight, I did majority of it with Hood.
Yeah.
Because, like, that was the best Mystic I had, like, kind of ranked up at the time before I had a lot of these other ones. So, I mean, that... It's just like a testament that they have made it more
accessible, player-friendly.
Yeah.
It definitely had a completely different undertone as I was playing it. Like, when I was playing Act 6, I was kind of, in my head, fighting for my life, fighting to save my items. I was always waiting for other shoe to drop or something that I had overlooked, or because every fight had some different nodes on them, and then you don't know how they're going to interact, and then all of a sudden appears some big juggernaut with Caustic Temper, and it's like, I don't have a poison immune, oh, I don't have a counter for that on my team, and I had to start over, or I had to push through, or something. Versus in
that
here...
brings... Yeah, oh no, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, so versus in here, I was much more comfortable. I didn't feel like I'm trying to get choked out from behind, or like, you know what I mean? I just went in there, I read the nodes for the lane, I checked the matchups, and I did the job. I didn't even read the boss nodes or who the bosses were, because we could swap in a champion for the boss, and they typically weren't like the hardest bosses.
Yeah, that's what you beat me to it. I was going to say that became exactly what I was going to say, because you had mentioned just a second ago that in Act 6, like, you run into one of those nodes and champions and you don't have someone on your team, whereas here, when you got to the boss, they were like, hey, by the way, if you happen to bring a team just to finish the lane and you don't have someone for your boss, you can swap someone in right now and they will come in with full health, which is even better.
Yeah, exactly, and you could net health as well and save potions that way.
Yeah. So I was like, oh my god, this is really awesome, the fact they did that. And so, yeah, that's why I was going to say, but you beat me to it by like 30 seconds. But yeah, that's a nice little feature.
I wanted to say, overall, I can also understand people who want content to be harder. I don't necessarily agree with them, because I personally don't think that story content should be excruciatingly hard. I think story content should be more accessible to people who have ranked up champions to appropriate level. And then I think challenge content and Everest content should come on a side. Whether we have, let's say, not variants or something similar to variants, just kind of like extreme, or when next variant comes out, we have like variant challenge mode where everything's amped up to 11, or whether it's more of these celebrity challenges, or it's more of Abyss or something like that. I do want to see a lot of content that's very hard in the game. I personally enjoy it and love it, but I don't want it to be tied to the story mode progression.
No, and I think that's what I think a lot of these people, I think they saw it with Act 6, and they were the group of, yeah, it's hard, I like it hard, you need to get good scrub kind of people. And I'm sorry, but you got the Abyss this year, you got two variants now this year. And
variants are relatively easy at this point. Variant 1 was hard.
Well,
after Variant 1,
it
wasn't the hardcore content.
But they give you some challenge. What I'm trying to say is look at it a different way. It gives you some challenge.
No, I understand. I'm just saying I would like to see something more amped up than a variant, for instance. I would like that content as well.
I would like to see maybe, I don't know how to describe it, but like a mini Abyss. Like, it's like permanent
Summer of
content,
Pain, for instance.
But
Summer of Pain, which hasn't come till winter.
Was supposed to happen.
Yeah. I wonder what happened to that, but I would have loved to see something like that again in the game, or very, very soon.
Yeah, hopefully. But I mean, I'm just saying, for permanent content, they should do something like, remember Road to Labyrinth? That's a perfect example. Whenever you played that, most people were learning the game, to get Road to Labyrinth to unlock Realm of, Legends and all that. So it was like, it was fun to play that, to kind of challenge yourself. Why can't they make something like, I'm not saying it may necessarily be this, but like Road to Abyss or something, or like Road to the next.
Well, many of us expected something like that. We were kind of surprised that they didn't, but that's fair game. Yeah. Either way, I think now we kind of need to move on to the next, maybe somewhat a bit more controversial point, which is the this anniversary calendar, the 7-day one. We haven't seen the 14-day one, but we have seen the 7-day one, and it is absolutely amazing for Thronebreakers. It is better than it was last year for Cavaliers, but compared to the Thronebreaker, it's obviously significantly lacking, so that caused a whole bunch of drama and complaining and fighting once again. And overall, I think it's also a good time to have a bit of a conversation about Cavalier title and Thronebreaker title, and where they are situated at the moment.
Yeah, the first thing, obviously, when it comes to the calendar, I think the biggest surprise for all of us as a Thronebreaker was the fact we got like 6-star Sig crystals. That was a big surprise.
20
I think everyone got 20. Yeah,
20,
that's a lot.
2 times 10.
Even if you got all random classes you don't need right now, they're still very valuable.
Oh yeah, they're extremely valuable.
And then, of course, the first day we had got 5,000 6-star shards, I believe it was.
Yes, it was 5,000 6-star shards. Then it was 10 6-star Sig crystals, 60 for basic, 60 for class catalyst crystals, 10 6-star Sig stones again. Tomorrow it's 3 tier 2 alphas, and then it's 15,750 tier 5 basic shards, which honestly is kind of like the resource that I look forward to the least. Out of everything in there, I definitely don't need tier 5
That's the one
basic.
I was thinking. Yeah, I was like, wow, I know that's supposed to be like the best gift, but I feel like the best gift like is already going to be past that point.
Yeah, true.
Just because I have like still 4 in overflow after rank 2ing another team.
I actually have like 10 or 9 already.
You're a little crazy because you went ham on all the deals, plus you just finished Act 7, so that makes sense.
Well, the deals actually didn't give that many tier 5 basics, or hardly any tier 2 alpha as well, by the way. But it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 I have in overflow.
Yeah, that's I've been seeing them mount, but that's because they want you to rank up your 6-stars now, and I know that T2 Alpha is like...
Yeah, I'm sure I'm going to use some very soon, because tomorrow there's a huge 6-star opening on my channel.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to open a couple myself, so...
Yeah,
so yeah, there's that. Cavalier was better than last on the flip side, but nowhere near as good as this. I'm trying to see if I can find a picture of what the Cavalier was real quick. I don't know if you have one pulled up right away, but...
I have a video where I discussed that. 1 second.
Yeah, I'll say that may be the best thing to pull it up. But all I can say is just going off of memory, I know that there was a lot of 5-star materials and less 6-star, which...
There's pretty much nothing for 6-stars.
Yeah, nothing for 6-star, because I think you even got no 6-star shards, did you?
No, you get 5-star shards.
Like crystal shards? Yeah. So what I was thinking, this brought up a kind of a conversation we've been having a lot when we have the live stream, and a lot of people ask us, hey, should I rank up X for a Thronebreaker? And you even said it in your video discussing this, that, you know, we saw it with the Cyber Weekend deals, and now we're seeing it with this, and now we have another calendar coming, plus the Christmas Day gift that's going to be progression based as well. It's like, do we just tell people rank up a rank 3 whatever you can when you can to get to Thronebreaker as soon as possible? Because right now it's seeming like there is more they're missing out on, because there's a difference between a brand new Cavalier player and a Cavalier player that's done almost everything else but just doesn't have a rank 3 to worthy, or even a formed T5CC. Maybe they just formed one, but they still don't feel they have a worthy, quote unquote, rank 3 candidate. And I think it's kind of the point where we just have to say, do it. I mean, that's how I kind of feel.
Right, so I pulled them back up here, and
okay.
Yeah, so you can definitely on the screen see that there is a significant drop, because basically the 6-star 6 stones are the 5-star 6 stones instead of 3 tier 2 alpha. You get 1 tier 2 alpha, you get half of tier 4 class catalyst crystals, only 4 tier 4 basics, and most importantly 5,000 5-star shards instead of 5,000 6-star shards, which is a huge difference in value.
They should have given 10,000. I'm just going to be honest here. Like, if you're giving
or
5,000,
2,500 6-star shards, ideally. Anyways,
yeah.
I think the point I'm trying to make here is, and seemingly with every one of these things that is progression based right now, I feel as if though I kind of have to jump to defend Cavalier, but also at the same time, with every single next thing that comes out, it's getting for me personally harder and harder to defend those Cavalier players, because at this point, if you know that this is the difference, the Thronebreaker daily crystals are infinitely better. All of these calendars and free things are infinitely better. At this point, obviously, it also kind of feel like if this was happening to you 3 months ago, I understand. Thronebreaker was basically just announced. You had like all this time to get the Thronebreaker, maybe make a painful decision, right? And if there is such a huge, significant difference in between rewards, then the longer the time will pass, the harder it is to defend Cavalier players. Because for me personally, on a personal level, for instance, I would see this calendar, or what happened with Cyber Weekend deals, or this calendar. I would be doing everything in my power to become Thronebreaker, basically under any conditions. If I need to rank up,
if I need to rank up Kamala Khan, I'm doing
I probably would. It would be very hard. I do everything I can that I don't have to. I can actually get a decent rank up. So I try and do all the content that I can, but again, my ideal perspective is the longer time passes, since this has been like a known situation where Cavalier players are treated significantly worse than Thronebreaker players, I would personally see myself doing everything I can not to be subjected to it any longer.
Yeah, I mean, Cavaliers become a second class.
Pretty much, they kind of are. And then the new uncollected, a lot of uncollected rewards are pretty much the same as Cavalier, and Thronebreaker is kind of like next level. Daily crystals is one example of these calendars. Now we're gonna get a 14-day calendar as soon as this one finishes, and what else? We have improved Sigil Store now, which is not that great, but still. And we have the Cyber Weekend offers, so we have a bunch of stuff where Cavalier players are being mistreated, in my opinion. But at the same time,
I was also going to say,
if you allow yourself to be mistreated.
Right. I was also going to say, though, don't forget on Christmas Day, the 25th, they always have the same similar deals as they had on Cyber Weekend, just for the unit offers.
Not quite as good, but yeah.
Not quite, but yeah. But I guarantee it's going to be progression-based, so if you want to spend money held off and you have the ability to become Thronebreaker, there's no reason now.
Yeah.
You know what you're missing.
At this point, I think if you have to rank up Miles Morales,
Agent Venom,
rank up something that you can place on defense. Like, you know what I mean? Just stick it on defense, get that title. You're missing out on this much stuff. Eventually, tier 5 class catalysts are going to be less and less valuable, and you're going to still get your next rank up in.
Yeah, and we were talking about this in a stream the other day too, that if you hold on to these tier 5 class catalysts, you'll notice that you get more after you spend it. I guess that's the best way to say it. Whether that be you're now able to do more difficult content, or you're able to 100% more difficult content, or whatever, you're gonna get it from like the crystal.
Yeah, well, the base idea is that catalyst is at its valuable right now. With any passing week or any passing month, they're easier to acquire, and they're going to mean less. Trying to save X amount of catalysts right now, for instance, for just in case I need, for instance, I don't know, to rank 4 or 5-star. It's pointless, because by the time you can rank 4 or 5-star, you will be able to get those catalysts a lot easier.
Exactly. Yeah, we were talking about that. I know that's exactly what sparked the conversation. Someone asked, "Will you start saving resources for that?" And it's like, no, because by the time they give that resource, they're going to know that we need more of the resources, so they're going to give it more accurate.
Yeah.
Or more abundant. So yeah. So it's better just do it. So in other words, every time you're thinking about asking, guys, the best thing that KT and I could tell you is you're seeing what Thronebreaker's getting over Cavalier
It's
now,
like,
for the past 2 months.
It's like my personal opinion definitely right now is like, is it kind of like the best thing Kabam can be doing, and do I like the way Kabam are doing things? Definitely not. I do think the quality players are being mistreated. For sure. Especially if you're in that kind of like cusp on becoming Thronebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, if you're gonna let yourself be treated that way and do nothing to push forward, even though it might mean to go out of your way to make extra effort and buy some units to clear some content, or make a bad decision on a rank up or whatever, it's gonna sting, it's gonna suck, but ultimately it's up to you. Because nobody's complaining, I think, is really gonna change Kabam's mind here on this one.
Yeah, I've the few times I've gone to the forums, there's always a thread. Do you think Kabam will change the requirements? No. Why would they go and change it 5 months ago?
Yeah. So again,
it.
I don't like what they're doing. I definitely sympathize with quality players. I have uploaded a whole bunch of videos where I highlight how much quality players are being screwed over right now by Kabam. But at the same time, as I said before, with every passing week, with every passing month, if you remain a quality player, you kind of have less and less ground to complain. Because if Thronebreaker title is just announced and it's kind of like dropped on us as a surprise, fair enough, like you didn't know, you weren't ready. But if it was months and months and months ago, and if in those months you haven't gotten that, again, I know that there might be RNG involved, but overall, in the vast majority of the case, you can make that push, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's our thoughts on it when it comes to Thronebreaker, becoming Thronebreaker, and these calendars. So, yeah.
And yeah, again, exactly, like right now, I think it's also a good time to do that, because obviously we are in for that 14-day calendar, where 14-day calendar typically is significantly better than a 7-day calendar. In addition to that, we're gonna have the Christmas offers, we're gonna have the New Year's offers. And there's going to be a bunch more stuff, I'm sure, that's coming, like that progression-based gift at Christmas.
Yeah, and that's going to be based on where you're at on Christmas, so do it now if you can. In other words.
Yep.
And even for those that are listening a week later, you still got some time. So.
But right now, then, let's go talk about Variant 6.
Which they just dropped those lovely rewards that we were talking about.
Well, the rewards are basically exactly the same as they were for Variant 5. The copy-paste Variant 5 rewards. Which I'm perfectly fine with.
Those were good rewards.
Which I'm perfectly fine, because Variant 5, in my opinion, still pretty much the best rewards for effort.
When people ask what variant should I start with, I've often said 5 because
if you can,
of
definitely.
that reason.
The rewards are so juicy. And it's not just the fact that it has like the tier 5 CC and others don't, it's also the 2 to 3 and 3 to 4 gems are generic, so there's no RNG involved in that, and obviously you get more tier 5 basics, you get more of everything, but there's also more control on how you use it.
Yeah, exactly. I think that the variants, I think them bringing variants back as they have, because they were missing for so long, it's just been a nice welcome back to the fold kind of thing.
And I hope they don't stop.
No, I would expect, we got 2 this year. I hope we get 3, if not 4 next year. Like every quarter, I would love to see a new variant. They've certainly got the backlog where they could do that,
Oh, yeah.
And it just gives more helpful items for progressing players just starting the game. Because there's going to be someone who starts the game today or last week or whatever, or in the future even, and they're going to be able to build the roster up and go through the acts, and they're going to hit a wall, and then they're going to say, well, let me try the variants, and I may be able to get through like initial completion of one of the variants, maybe variant 4, because that was a pretty easy one. And they're able to do that. That's going to give them resources to rank up more champs, to overcome harder content. They can go through and do more variants and like then eventually Labyrinth of Legends or Abyss of Legends, that will help get more players and more progression. So I think they need to focus on these variants from the future of the game as well.
I think Obama is also potentially going to have a problem with this kind of oversaturation of content and people getting lost. Because if you're going to start the game and you have 20 variants and you have no clue where to go in first, for instance. So I don't think that... I don't think that having 20 different variants in a game is going to be the best thing for the game necessarily. They might need to retire some of the old ones or something. I don't think they should have like more than 10 of these at the same time available in the game, even for like new starters or something. Or they might need to figure out something a bit different where maybe they either rotate, or if you explore one, then that one gets replaced with something. Or something, because I don't think that you'd want to kind of like open your quest tab and see that there's like eventually 30 different variants, right? In 2022, for instance.
Right, but I think they kind of handled that with the acts, where you have the different books you can pick. Like they've really cleaned up the screen, so they could have OG variants, and then they could have book 2 of variants, book 3 of variants. I mean, there's very possibility they could do
what
that.
I wanted to say at the same time, like in my progression guide, like I said, do your act content first, like Act 5, and before you jump into Act 6, get the variants, because that is typically the much more user. Overall, I think Act 6 is going to go down in games history as the one you probably want to skip. Instead of doing variants, just go. Sorry. Instead of doing Act 6, just go do variants and jump into Act 7, kind of thing.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with that.
Especially because these rewards in variants also keep improving.
Yeah, that's true. And it seems like the best way to describe it is like, you know, variant 4 having the ability to play with different star champions, you know, on each chapter. That was really cool. I wouldn't mind seeing some of the more variation of that, just giving you a chance to go back through your roster as you progress.
Oh, yeah.
As you're progressing.
I would actually love like a 3-star only variant, for instance.
That, I think everybody thought that was what variant 4 was going to be, because they had mentioned, I think...
I would totally love that, because 3 stars are very, very, very easy to rank up. Right? It doesn't take any of the catalysts that your 5 or 6-star champions need.
And not only that, most of the time, if you do the arena for new champions, if you just hit the top milestone, you get a 3-star version of that champion. So you can have new champions.
I think 3-star variant is would be pretty much the best kind of like power level to go in for, because those champions are dead easy to rank up, super easy to acquire. You can get guaranteed 3 stars as a final milestone in arenas now. And they also have pretty much all the abilities and most of the synergies, and you would get the chance to use all of these champions you just don't have as a 5 or 6 stars, or don't have them ranked up. So I think that would be absolutely amazing.
It'd be fun. I think there's limitless potential on what they could do. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. In fact, I wouldn't be opposed to having like the next variants after this one, like 7, 8, and 9, be like a 3-star variant. And then the next one's a 4-star variant, and then the next one's like a 2-star or a 4-star again, or
5-star even.
You know, just to have different variants.
Well, there's nothing wrong.
You can take in a lot of champs that maybe you used to play with, but you don't rank up now because the game has changed. But they'll,
Okay, let's get back to the actual variant that's coming out. What do you think about this whole villain theme and the nodes? Did you read or check out the nodes?
I got to read through the nodes, and I think they're gonna make some fun fights. Like fights that are gonna be different than what you're used to doing. Some fights that you're gonna just have to fight differently, maybe than you're used to. But I'm loving the all villain thing, because they have a lot of good villains that you can play as in the game. You know, so I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, if you want to go through them, we can go through.
We're not going to go through all of them, but I can definitely mention that there does sound to be like some very, very crazy cheese potentials. For instance, when triggering armor break debuff, opponents are also power locked. So you bring in like a Mr. Fantastic synergy with Dr. Doom, right? Heavy attack armor breaks the opponent, get them to a corner, and just infinitely slap them in the corner, for instance. Or something like that. There seems to be so many kind of like cheesy, very crazy interactions that could potentially happen.
There was 2 that I liked that went well together, and there was you got them on the screen. Monster and Beast, the triggering and unstoppable. I thought of Magneto immediately, charging the heavy. You could basically, at will, give yourself healing, plus stop attacking villain from getting health and reversing it just by charging charging heavy, with Magneto, because you grant that unstoppable buff, you know? That would be so much fun to cheese. So I'm totally bringing in my 5-star rank 5 Magneto into this quest. And then, of course, you know, the bleeds and stuff, having better duration.
Yeah, and then there's a genius as well, while under effect of armor up buff.
Yes.
And attacking villain champions burn 10% of the defender's max power on hit or when blocked. It's so crazy,
I instantly thought of using Venom for a lot of these too.
Yeah, Venom would be like just slap the opponent in the corner.
So much fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
It's just
seems very hype. I can't wait for Wednesday to jump in there and just have fun, because that's what I feel this piece of content is going to be. Super insanely fun. I really have very high expectations.
I was going to say, you know how a content has the potential to be really good is when you're reading the nodes that they're going to have and stuff, and you just get a smile on your face because you know that it's going to be some crazy interaction videos we're going to see for this. Like, I am positive we're going to see some crazy stuff happening.
There has to be. Yeah. I've been also super happy that we saw some of these crazy things in Act 7. Like, do you see that Abomination clip? Or my 6-star rank 1 Abominations like dropping like 20+ K mediums, and opponents are dropping in like 30 hits.
And then like you had your OG Thor also.
That was good as well. So I do love when they do that. I do love when they let us go crazy a bit.
Yeah, it just makes us remember that
it puts a smile on your face.
Yeah, exactly what I was saying. Yeah, it makes you smile. It's just great content. It's great content. So, and of course, talking about content, the rewards, I like that they give us 5-star and 6-star stuff. Like 5-star, I like that we get things to rank up, because I think you and I both have said we don't have enough tier 2 alpha to rank up our 5 stars.
And in general, you just don't quite feel good investing resources in 5 stars. If they are the same resources you will need for 6 stars.
Exactly. So it's one of those things where it's like, I like this content because it gives me more crystals and stuff to rank up 5 stars that I want to rank up, but I don't want to use resources.
Also, here's like a public service announcement, definitely, that I want every single person to understand that the game is completely changed when it comes to the value of these rank up gems. These 5-star rank up gems right now are more valuable than they have ever been, not just because they're generic, not just because the 3 to 4 ones also include 2017 champion, but mainly because of this new crazy buff program where we can get up to 4 buffs every single month. And right now, also due to reworks, we already have Magneto, who is one of the champions you can use this gem on, and is one of the best champions in the game. We have Colossus, we have She-Hulk, and then obviously we have the old crazy good champions like Archangels and what you have. But in general, if you don't have something that you 100% feel like you need right now to be better at the game, save these gems, hold on to them, because you never know who is going to get buffed next, who you're going to need next, when you're going to need these kind of like quote-unquote catalysts or rank up options. So do not waste these. It's not like previously when we had 3 sets of 2015 gems and we had like 4 mystic ones, and then all the juggernauts or whoever went up just because we didn't have anybody else to rank. I ranked for Civil Warrior, I ranked for Howard the Duck, I ranked for a bunch of junk, just because I had these 2015 champions and I had like, 2 options to rank up basically.
I want to tell you a funny story. I went through retroactively after I think Variant came out. I did Variant 3 when it was the other 2 hadn't already been out and 1 had already been out. And I retroactively went to those, and I kept getting Mutant. The 2015 and 16 gems, I kept getting Mutant, and I was like, what the hell? Well, I kept on to them because I was like, I already have everybody ranked up possibly can on the like rank 3 already. I'm not going to bang them to rank 4. I'm like, maybe they'll eventually have Wolverine, which they did, but
I used it on Colossus. I used it on Magneto, and eventually I used one on Wolverine too. So I actually used all those mutant ones from before. So I think that will help progressing players too. But yeah, these generics, don't just use them willy-nilly. Keep them for sure for whenever they buff a champion that you really want to take up.
I actually still have one 2015 Mystic.
Do you?
Form. That's the only one that I have left. 2015 Mystic one, which is earmarked for Scarlet Witch.
I was gonna say, if you pull Scarlet Witch, then you'll be golden. I'm looking at my inventory now, and I think the only thing I have left now is okay, this one. I think the only thing I have left now is the 20. It's this one. It's the 3 to 4 for 2017 or 15, 16, or 17. That's all I have left. I actually used all the other ones.
I think I only have like 6-star ones and like a 3-star rank up gems or 4-star rank up gems or something like that. And the two here I can see. So I have rank 3 to 4 5-star Mystic 2015 one.
Okay.
Then I have a 3-star generic rank 3 to 4 gem, which is like, you know, neat, whatever. And then I have a cosmic 6-star rank 1 to 2 gem and a generic 6-star rank 1 to 2 gem.
Yeah, all those generic 1 to 2s.
All I have left.
Yeah, because I will say I did the same thing you did. I did rank up some characters. Like I remember I had a bunch for.
I threw them at everything because the rank up thing wasn't nearly as kind of like relevant as it is now, and we didn't know that they're gonna rank up buff anything. And I mean I ranked up Nebula, I ranked up Proxima, I ranked up Guillotine, I ranked up a bunch of champions, just like whatever.
That's what I was gonna say. I ranked up the original Guillotine. I ranked up Hawkeye, and luckily I ranked up She-Hulk and Quake, and obviously those were two good ones for me, so I was happy with that. But the bad ones, I gotta say, the two worst ones I did was kind of Hawkeye, even though he is useful, and the original Guillotine, because being available as 6 stars, I mean, it's like, why would you do that now? You wouldn't take him to rank 4, and I could have used that on like a Falcon, Gambit, or something.
Yeah.
Well, not Gambit, but you know.
Well, yeah, I know what you mean. But either way, the point that I was trying to make is be very mindful that these gems right now are more valuable than they have ever been. Do not waste them. Do not blow through them like it's nothing, like they don't mean anything. Even though game is shifting towards 5-star meta, for foreseeable future you will still be able to benefit. Sorry, to the 6-star meta. For the foreseeable future, you will still be able to benefit from 5 stars, and there will be 5 stars that get buffed and you want to rank, if for nothing else than just fun.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
use them wisely.
There are plenty of times we hear about people that love playing with like Hitmonkey or someone like that. I mean, I know that those are newer champions, but I'm just saying, think of other champions like that maybe you never rank up with resources, but they're good. You like playing them.
And plus, then that obviously could be next Magneto rework, which still is gonna shred even as a 5-star.
Yeah, that's what's really cool. So
speaking of buffs, though, yes. we should swiftly move on. We have 4 new buffs now announced. Now we have very, very little detail, so obviously we're going to discuss all of these buffs much more closer to the actual release date once we actually have the champion information for February. But it's still very fresh and it's still very, very exciting. So
it looks like January they're probably not going to give us any.
Yeah, January is no buffs at all. January is nothing.
4 in. Which is good. I mean, that's fine. Take a month off.
They already had announced that there's going to be the pause, though. I mean, it's not great. It's not like ideal, but it's fair enough. They said.
But they had still said, I think, like 38 champions next year. So I mean, it's like they're still going to hit a lot of champions. Yeah. Like, especially if they're doing 4 in February right off the bat. I mean, that's great. So yeah, let's talk about the 4.
Right. So we have first and foremost the tune-ups, the number change is basically the Punisher 2099 treatment to Moleman and Terrax.
Moleman and Terrax both
actually, for the fact that they are smallest, quote-unquote, changes, smallest buffs, I'm probably most interested in, because both of those champions, when they came out, Because both of them actually came out together, didn't they? They did.
They did. Oh, they came out a month apart, I think.
I think they were the same month.
Mole Man. Let me double check. I've got my handy dandy. Yeah. I keep track of everything. So Terrax and Mole Man. Actually, you're right. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. They came out in March.
Yeah.
So they were both duds.
Both of them actually looked quite decent on paper, but were absolute duds when they landed in the contest because of the numbers. Because on paper, both of them have potential. Like Mole Man has a guaranteed crits and bleeds on the guaranteed crits, but the problem is that he loses a bunch of utility when he enters his damage mode, and the damage mode doesn't last nearly long enough, and his damage overall just isn't great enough. If they make his charges last longer, if they let him get more charges quicker with heavy attacks or something,
or even a persistent charge to allow him to start the next fight.
Or that.
More charges right off the bat.
And if they just tune his damage numbers up a bit, he could be a very, very good champion. Because overall, he has access to True Strike, he shrugs up debuffs, bleeds, guaranteed crits, goes unstoppable. Plenty of decently good things.
He has some potential there, and I'm glad that they're doing these two new champions.
Yeah, me too, because they're definitely like the duds of the year, alongside Erica.
Yeah, and the last thing you want to do is release more duds that you're going to have to go back and fix. So I think that's why they're doing 4. They're doing 2 brand new champions we just got within a year. I mean, literally, they're being tuned up 12 months at least, and then we're getting 2 older champions.
Yeah,
but I think there's potential with Mole Man.
So Mole Man definitely, and Terrax as well. We can look at the Terrax because it has definitely been a while since I actually read his abilities. So we're gonna quickly find him because I actually don't have a 5 or 6 at Terrax, which is like one of the very few champions this year that didn't get.
Oh, wow.
And now I regret it.
I got him from I got a basic of him as a 6-star, and then I got him at the Holiday Crystal, the 2020 Cavalier Crystals, as a 5-star. So I'm curious to see what they do with him.
Yeah, but okay, so let's go with. So he's immune to shock and bleed. It's immune to power drain, power steal, power burn, power lock, and enervate from metal champions. And then he has his whole energy damage thing. And then he gains more power when he's stuck in block and on parries due to his power cosmic, so he can maintain his rock charge. He has his indestructible charges. His armor breaks. When you stay close to the opponent, you obviously have that damage. 4th light attack refreshes the duration of all personal armor break debuff, so you can refresh your armor breaks. Heavy attacks, I think is guaranteed critical hit plus attack increase. And then you have your special attack like power gain buff and whatever else you have. So overall, like there isn't like the largest amount of your utility, but I think if he can actually deal a lot of damage. But there will be a problem if he deals too much damage. He's going to become a nightmare on defense because he's already semi-used defender.
He's kind of a pain. Yeah.
So I think they need to be very kind of like clever how they amp up his damage.
Exactly. But I think they could do some good things. Hopefully it's a sign that, I mean, because this is another, okay, because the way I look at it is these are, he's a, what do you call it, of Galactus, a,
Herald.
What do they call him? Yeah, Herald of Galactus. And so we have 2 decent ones in Cosmic Ghost Rider and Silver Surfer, and now we have him and Airwalker that are duds. So hopefully Airwalker gets later too.
And Nova is a Herald as well. That's a dud.
True, yeah. Do they actually list him as a Herald? I didn't know.
Yeah, he's Herald, I think.
Okay.
I'm quite sure he is.
Okay. I couldn't remember if he actually had that listed or if it was something. But anyway, either way, yeah, they definitely need to revisit the 2020 champ a little bit more too. And that way we can kind of get rid of the adding more duds, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely know. And then we have like the bigger buffs, right? Then we have the bigger buffs, which is Kingpin, which is going to be like Falcon Gambit level of a buff. And Kingpin as well, I think they can definitely do something very interesting, because he's already not the worst champion, you know? There are things he can do. He has some very, very cool synergies, like with Mr. Sinister and stuff.
Yeah.
And
I think that Kingpin I'm looking forward to, but Yellow Jacket's really the one I'm looking forward to because I like Yellow Jacket.
And Yellow Jacket's also said to be a bigger buff. In case of Yellow Jacket, well, you can kind of see why, because Yellow Jacket's ability description currently, I think, is like 6 sentences. He has signature ability, which is 1 sentence, and then he has special attacks, which is 3 sentences, 1 each, and all attacks. So it's like, what, 5 sentences in his ability description.
He was kind of like one of the last champions that was released that had didn't have a novel written about him. But he was a little lamer because of that, I think, you know, or at least the last set.
And well, obviously, when he gets buffed, he's gonna have, I think, significant amount of new abilities added because they have to, because there's nothing there. It's like a blank canvas the way I look at it, and they have a lot of options. Great.
A lot of opportunity there, I think. That's what I'm looking forward to.
And I'm personally probably the most interested in this one as well because I have him Sig 40 as a 6-star.
Oh, really? Okay, I have him at Sig 20, so I didn't know you had him at Sig 40.
I have him Sig 40 now, which obviously isn't the greatest thing, but hey, if he's good, new rank 3.
Yeah, new rank 3 coming in. And Science needs some help. Science needs some help.
What do you mean? Science is like the best class in the game.
Well, except for 6-star, can't say that because the 6-stars you not only have to have them awaken.
Science is the best 6-star class in the game because of course. Yeah, fair enough.
Because
yeah, okay, gotcha.
Just because you can't just not awaken them, they also have to be Sig 200. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying. Anyway, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to him because I have him. I have my Wasp ranked up just like you do as a 6-star, so I'm sure the synergies are going to be awesome still or better. I look forward to that one.
Yeah, I just hope it's not another Netflix Daredevil situation. Or
He's
Daredevil Hell's
defense.
Kitchen now.
I faced him on defense, and he's a pain in the ass.
Oh, he's annoying.
Especially on a power game.
That. He's bad to use. I will actually give him a proper look with everything that has happened. I just haven't had the time, and I have had Suicide Master active all the time. But I want to actually give him a proper look and see what I really can and cannot do with the guy.
Most champion I'm looking at seeing a proper look at from you is Immortal Abomination more. I want to see more on that guy.
I actually want rank 5 the guy.
You should. I'm just going to say that out loud.
Here is my reasoning for it, kind of. Because I do quite like him. He's good at Suicide Masteries, and I often play Suicide Masteries. And in addition to that, there is no immediate quote-unquote risk of me pulling him as a 6-star anytime soon, because he's not in the next 6-star featured, which I'm going to be hitting quite
going for.
So
I mean, you're looking.
If I would be that busy as I was yesterday and today, I would have done it already, I think.
Right.
I think I might do it tomorrow, and I think it would kind of fit quite well with Variant because he's a villain.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was gonna say, if you end up ranking him with resources, great. If not, you could also get the resources from Variant 6 possibly, so to rank him up. But
this is interesting. Let's do this quickly. Are you watching the stream, actually? I just got Summoner's Sanctum.
I'm watching. I just saw that come through on my mail, too, 2 minutes ago, whenever...
I'll do it live. We're gonna finish this. 10 questions.
Let's do it live!
Have you played any of the following back issue quests? Please select all. Yeah, I have played all of them. Oh, no, wait.
So this is a variant question.
Yeah, but the variant back issue is 6.
Well, we haven't played it.
Yeah, we haven't played it, so. It's a trick question.
It's a trick question. None of the above. This is going to be based on which one is your favorite, I bet. I guarantee.
What difficulty rating you typically play back issues? Variant.
Oh, yeah. Because we want the variant.
How would you rate enjoyment of the following Black Issues content quest if you didn't play a particular quest? And I'm gonna mark all of them as very enjoyable. I loved all of them.
Ultron?
I liked it a lot, man. I have done it 4 or 5 times. It's the hardest one.
I know, but okay, hold on. Don't destroy the. Oh God, you're gonna destroy us.
And back issue 6 I didn't play, obviously.
I was gonna say don't do 6 yet, but I was gonna say 1. You can't put somewhat enjoyable for 1. Come on.
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
But did you like it when it was first released? Don't
Yes.
lie. Did you like it? You liked
Yes.
it when it was first released.
Yes.
You went and made a video on that. I can go back on your channel and find a video of you saying you loved it and you don't know why everybody hates it.
Yeah, go on back. I always liked it. I did it with rank 3, 5 stars and 4-star champions only.
KT, I'm a little disappointed in you. I'm just saying. I'm okay. It's your survey. I know how I'm gonna rank it, but I'm telling you, I'm not gonna rank it the highest or lowest. I'm not gonna rank it the highest or the lowest. I'll say that. So what's the next question? What's it say?
How would you rate your preference for the following? Please select answer the best fits. I prefer being able to bring only specific types of champions into back issues content. Example, only able to use 4 stars. I prefer being able to use any champions in back issues content, but having global buffs that reward using specific types of champions, global blah blah. I prefer a variety of back issues content that alternates between broad and specific champion requirements. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, that one's
the variety, because I think they have nailed it so far pretty much. And
variety is the spice of life. But like we were saying, it would be nice to have an all 3-star.
Okay, so basically rank these 3 using tag specific champions, using class specific champions, using star rating specific champions. I think I want tag specific most because I think that's the most interesting canvas. Then I'm gonna go with
star.
Then I'm gonna go with star, and class is the least favorite because they, yeah, I think I'm class is the least favorite. I don't like when you can only bring one class.
Yeah.
I don't like when you can only bring one class champion because no, not because of Ultron, just because your synergy teams are messed up and stuff like that.
Well, that's what I was saying. Yeah, the Ultron is what I hated because there was some synergies I wanted to use. You didn't let me finish my sentence.
Okay, 6. Please rate your agreement or disagreement with the following statements. I think the rewards are good enough for the effort and back issues variant.
Hey, real quick, are you able to go back in the survey?
I don't know.
Because I decided I was taking the survey too, like you were, and the very enjoyable that you thought you selected for like the variants is very unenjoyable.
No?
I'm pretty sure. You may want to double check that.
Maybe.
It was question 2. Because you chose the left side of the screen and the very enjoyables on the right side of the screen.
Okay. Whoopsie.
So I was trying to tell you. I was trying to tell you because I didn't want you to like say everything sucks. Hey, it's a good thing I'm here watching out for you, buddy.
Yeah. I haven't played variant 6. Okay. Nice.
Yeah, unenjoyable. See, I should have not said that to you.
My bad. Okay, so
I would have loved that. I'm glad I noticed that. How many people are gonna be in the comments saying that later on?
Shh. We fixed it. We fixed it. Okay, so I think the rewards are good enough for the somewhat agree, yeah. I don't want them to get complacent with the rewards. I prefer having more choice about the types of champions. I'm fine with the choice at the moment. So, middle. I enjoy having content where I can use champions I typically don't use. Strongly agree. No, actually kind of somewhat agree. I prefer having more choice for the champions I use in back issues, but having global buffs benefit bringing in specific champions. Strongly agree. I invest in rank up champions I don't typically use to play back issues content. Strongly disagree. Never rank up anything just because
you should never.
I prefer champion requirements to be more focused versus broad. Strongly disagree. I like broad champion requirements overall more.
Yeah.
I like more back issues content per year. Strongly agree. I want as many variants as we can get.
Ooh, this is nice. The next question.
How many new back issues quests would you like to have per year? Let's say 4.
I'm gonna say, yeah, 4 is what I was thinking. Remember I said 1 every quarter would be perfect.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to tell us about your experience with back issues?
Like them a lot. Like
best content in the game for all player base.
Okay.
I said best content I said best content in the game for all player base. Love them, keep making them, and periodically increase rewards.
Okay, and I think that will also be it, because we just took a bit of longer than I thought we will, obviously because of this survey.
Only because of that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
because of
overall
survey,
I think we had a very productive and nice tea time, if you will. And yeah, this will be available on Sunday to watch for everyone. For now, up until Sunday, it's only going to be available for members and Patreon. And yeah, we're going to try and record the next one on the Sunday as normal. Back to the schedule.
Yeah, back to it. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you to all our Patreon and members on YouTube, and we hope to continue helping make fun content for you. Mainly it's KT, I'm just here to talk.
And well, definitely we still need to say a huge thank you to Mandalorian. He has been a great help on streams and in general, and it's definitely noticeable. I think you will all agree that we're doing awesome and we're pushing, and we're actually quite close to 32k subs, so that means that I'll have to do a piss run at some point very soon. We are...
I love the Abyss runs.
Oh, I like them a lot. My stash has taken a beating though.
I know. It just takes time.
Almost 31.8k now, so we only have a bit over 200 to go.
Oh.
So yeah.
It's gonna happen before the new year.
Yeah. But that will do for today. So once again, huge thank you to every single one of you for supporting the channel in any capacity you guys are able to. Greatly appreciate. Wouldn't be here without you. And I'm gonna catch you next time. See ya.
Bye everyone.